one of the best youth anthems ever. How old is that then? What's that, about 77? Unbelievable, isn't it? How are you? Hope you're well. What day is it? Wednesday, isn't it? Doesn't really matter anymore. Where are you in the world? I'm in London. We're in lockdown. Yeah. So, what can you do? Wait for the vaccine. There's about 30 million people in front of me, apparently. How can that be? How can I not be vulnerable? By the time they get around to me, I will be fucking 80. Give me the injection. Just to kill me now. Oh dear. From New York, yeah, where are you from? Crazy all over though, isn't it? Except in North Korea. They sorted it out. There's other problems, but they sorted out the virus, didn't they? Indiana, Walton-on-Thames, Istanbul, Canada, babe, Ireland, London town. I'm gonna leave old London town. Blackpool, Philly, London. Oh, you gotta laugh, don't you? This again. I thought this would all be over by now. I thought the pandemic would be over. I certainly thought this shite would be over. But if you still want me to do it, I'll do a couple of weeks. I mean, let's kick off with some of the golden questions that I get sent in. Still, I haven't bothered to get this sponsored. I could be making so much. These get like, I don't know how much they've got in all. Apparently someone worked it out, because the amount I've done and how long they are and how many people listen to each one on all different formats, I've given away 1 billion free minutes. 1 billion free minutes. Do you know how much I usually get paid for half an hour's TV? It's silly money, and yet I've given this away because it's bollocks. Right. Still no fucking knighthood. People think I'm serious when I make that joke. I've still no, but people go, "Would you want one?" I'm joking. I know some people really want. You know, you have to campaign to get it as well. People have, you write them letters, you get sponsored. Same with all these fucking stupid, shitty little fucking honours. I just shouldn't go to fucking celebrities, and I've seen things like MBE for services to acting. Fucking services to acting. Silly twat put on a wig and learned some lines and got paid millions. He doesn't need an award for services to acting. There's people fucking working 14-hour shifts, nurses, fucking teachers and doctors, and give it to them. Don't give it to some ponce for doing fucking Shakespeare. Right. That's the other thing. America. Right. You've got to. I'm talking, to Hollywood here. You've got to start trying to be able to tell the difference between a good British actor and just a posh British actor. Right? Words with advice. Right, here we go. Kick off. Is it true that horses can't vomit? Thanks, Andy and Gunnar. It is. I don't know why. It's something to do with the strength of their esophagus. I don't know if they can, or I don't know, it would hurt too much. No, they can't vomit, that's true. And most mammals can, but also rodents can't, I think, for a different reason. I think rodents, that's why they use rats in labs and stuff, because they give them, it's horrible, make them eat anything and they can't vomit, so it stays in their body and they can, I think because in the wild, things like rats, they're smart, they don't eat anything when there's a toxin, they can tell, so they don't usually get poisoned in the wild with stuff. And they also eat, because they can't vomit, they eat clay, and that soaks up some of the toxins in their body, in their stomach, and it passes through. But obviously, we can poison them and give them horrible drugs and stuff. But yes, good question, Andy and Gunnar. Horses can't vomit. See? This is educational. Tiana, how do you deal with fake people in your life? I discovered nearly everyone from my hometown is. Wow. And I've been feeling down. What's the best way to move towards the future and forget the arseholes? Well, that's it, isn't it? That's exactly, you've answered your own question there. We move on. I mean, I don't really have a sort of, when you've got no friends, you don't have to deal. No, I've always been very selective. I've never sort of befriended people for the sake of it, because I was like, I'd rather be lonely than a friend with a twat or an arsehole. And I know there's lots of arseholes out there, but I don't really deal with them. I haven't had to deal with them. I've always tried to do my own thing. I've always owned my own labour. I've worked in jobs where the people I didn't like, but you just don't get sucked in. I can't be bothered. I just can't, and I just think, and if you've been unlucky and you've known some, but I mean the best way is to just trust loved ones, and a few friends and family. Then you can't go wrong. But I think people get caught out when they're worried. They're worried about being on their own, so they'd rather be in a room full of fucking twats than at home watching telly by themselves. And there's no competition. I don't know if that's answered your question or not. I just went on a rant, really. Oh dear. Just do your own thing. Easy said than done, isn't it? That light's too bright, isn't it? I'm squinting. We think now it wasn't bubble bath, don't we? We think it's just I've had a nice bath and I've got a beer and then I'm having to concentrate and read. I probably should have glasses by now. And that light's too bright and it makes me squint. Think if this was on real telly, this show, like this. There was some early days of digital was like this, wasn't it? Sort of like just crap stuff in a basement with one camera. I still watched it.
Grammarly does more than catch errors. With Grammarly, you can find really good, no, perfect words that make your writing
Freya, I've got a question for today's Ricky's Bollocks. What is your favourite scene from one of your shows that was based on one of your personal experiences? Lots were. I mean, everything's semi-autobiographical, or about people I knew or growing up. Everything I've ever done, really. But what's your favourite scene? Well, probably. Our favourite for me is one I'm most proud of. I mean, I don't sit down and watch it myself, so it can't be my favourite. Like, I'll watch that thing I did. So I have to remember, and I think my favourite things are the things that I'm most proud of, that are either hard to do or brave, or hit the right notes or caused a spark or something. And so the thing that springs to mind is I wanted to document Derek having to put Ivor down. I think is the one, because I put everything into that of my experiences of having to put down pets, and I wanted to show that It was a kind thing to do, even though it's fucking devastating. I've cried every time. Cat, dog, doesn't matter. Wept every time, from when I was fucking 5 to 55, and now still, you know. So I wanted to try and get on how fucking sad it is and traumatic, but it's the right thing to do, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it's that one, I think. But there's quite a few. Joey. My family and I have been trying to work out what breed Teddy could be. Little picture of their new puppy. Apart from idiot. What breed do you think he looks like? Some sort of sheepdog, I'd say. It's difficult to tell, because if there's 2 dogs in it, they look